Hi guys, welcome to Digital TechJoint. I hope everybody is doing good. And in this video tutorials, we will learn how to log your exceptions in a file-based manner, which is saved in your root directory. So this will be a logging system where you can obviously log your exception, or you can log any variables, or you want to identify any troubleshoot any root cause or methods, something like that. So you can definitely use this method, and you don't need to log those into your database. You can do that simply in a file-based manner, and we are going to use ASP.NET MVC and show you how to do that. Now, before we go ahead and proceed with the practical section, we will see that I've created a playlist called Programming Tricks and Tips, and inside that we have created three videos, which talks about the latest features of Visual Studio 2022, and then how to add notifications in your application, and how to fill your drop down using creating a foreign key relationship and fill your drop down in your application. Now I'm going to use the project that I had created for how to add toast notification and implement the logging in that project. So here's the project. I'll just quickly run it and show you the recap. So in this project, what is happening is that we were fetching some employee data from database, and while we were performing any operations like add, edit, or delete, we used to show a very nice sweet toast notification to the end users. So I'm just going to edit this record and say and save it, and then you can see a notification getting popped up. So here what we are going to do is that while we are fetching the employee record in this index method, we are going to log some exception and show that how does it display it in our project. So let's go ahead and implement the same. So right click on your project and say add class, and just name it as log events. So this class will using system.io, and this will be a static class. So I'm going to say static class, and I'm going to create a method called public static void log to file, and this will take a string as a title. This will be title of the message, and then this will be string log messages. Okay, so once we do that, we calling stream writer log. Okay, let me call it sw log. Okay, and we'll just as of now name it as a declare a variable called file name, and this will hardcode log file .txt. Okay, we will show you how to create the files dynamically, and how to create a folder and then keep those files exceptions inside the folder. For now I'm just going to complete the code and show enhance the code as well. So here I'm going to check if file not exist the file name, then I'm going to create it sw log, and it's a new stream writer and the file name. This will create the file, and if the file exists, then I'm going to append it to sw log equals to it will be stream writer, it will be text, so it will be say it will be file dot append test and the file name. And here we are going to simply call sw.writeLine, and this will be log entry, and log, log entry, and then we are going to, for now we are going to say we are going to log the date and the time. So we'll have a placeholder, and then we're going to say date time dot now to long date. This will be long date, and date time dot now long time. So these just for demo purpose, I'm just adding this, and sw dot close. This is a now we are going to call this method from a controller employee which fetches the employee information. This is index. I'm going to say log events dot log, and here's a title, and this will be my message. So it, as I told you, it can be exception, or you can also track your working of a method. So for example, I can say total records fetched, something that sort, and I can also use underscore context dot employee entity dot count, something that sort. Okay, and then so I'm going to put a breakpoint over here and run the application. I click on employees, and here I'm going, you come to this method. This is a title, this is a exception, total record fetch is 4, and this should be now if you notice on the right hand side on this project with the files, log file will be created. So it says it's not there and it creates, so you can see this got created, and then obviously it will write the message. I'm not actually writing the message and title right now, and then I'm going to do it once I show the how to log exception. So I'm just going to this directory, right click on the project, say open folder, and here you can see log file created. This is the log entry, this is the date, and this is the time. So so what are this enhancement I need to do is that I need to make sure that I dynamically call create a folder inside our root folder, and then create dynamic files, because you can't expect the log file to be bulky over the time period. So what we are going to do that we are going to create exception logs or log files based on the file name will be the date. So every day there will be a single file created. If there is any exception or if there is anything that you need to record it. So how do we do that? So we are going to enhance it. So what we are going to do is that first call the method that first call include one more parameters which says I web hosting, which actually as a env environmental properties set. So you can fetch the root directory, you can fetch the assembly path and everything. So this is something that we are going to pass in this, and then create the code accordingly, and this will actually create a folder if it does not exist, and then it will create a file based on the date and time, and then save that exception into the folder and log all the detailed exception, which we'll show it right now. So the first thing we're going to do is that check whether we have a folder called log files or log exception. So we are going to declare a variable exist, and then this will be saying system.io.directory, or since we are reference the variable, you can say directory directly, yeah, dot exist, and here I'm going to call env variable dot web root. Okay, and this will be plus, and this will be \2, and then plus again appending, and then this would be log folder. So this is something that we are going to create in our root directory. So we are just checking whether log folder is there in our root directory. It is not there currently. If it is not there, we are going to create it. Okay, so we are going to create it. We are going to say directory dot create directory, and here I'm going to say env dot web root, and I'm going to copy this because we are going to create this folder. So this is the first enhancement we did. Second, about the file name. So we have a file name variable defined over here. So what we are going to do is that we are going to create one more variable called string log path, and this file name which we are going to define will be dynamically date wise. So you're going to say date time. So it will be date time dot now dot toString, and we are going to also give the method the format, which will be dd mm and yyyy. So this is the date format. Now we will also give an extension which will be plus dot txt. So this will be the file name, and now we are going to check whether this file name exists. If it doesn't exist, then it will create a file name, but it will create in the root path. So what we need to do, we need to define the root path, so log path. So log path will be path dot combine, okay, and this will be env, that is environment variable dot web root, okay, and here I'm going to append the folder name as well with the web root, which is // plus, and this is my folder name, log folder. So this is my entire path and this is my file name. Now I have to check if the file exists. If it doesn't exist, then I'm going to create that file. So I'm going to, instead of file name, say log path and paste it over here. Okay, similarly over here and here as well. Okay, let us also complete the code of making sure that we log the entire information. So here I'm going to say log entry, then I'll say long date and the time, which is right, and then after that we are going to say swlog dot write line. Okay, we're just going to list some spaces, and then we are going to say sw dot write line, and this will be the message, and this will be our, so this will be message title, and this will be title. Okay, so this is one, and then obviously we need to log the actual exception. This is the message, and this will be log message over here, and post that we are going to say, I'm going to remove this and just add a dash to it, so that it's like breakpoint for us. And so this is the code, complete code that we have. We don't need this. Okay, so this is the complete code for logging the complete information. Now what we are going to do is that we need to pass this variable, environmental variable. So we will go to our controller, and here I'm going to declare a variable private read only iweb hosting, okay, and I'm going to inject that over here. So I've just injected and initiated that web hosting. Now this I'm going to pass in the log file. Now log file is expecting a variable, so I'm going to pass this over here, and plus I'm going to now generate an exception this time. So this will be try, catch, and this will be exception ex, and now I'm going to call this inside this, and now here I'm going to log an exception in this section. This will be I'm going to create an exception 0, and then it will be say result this will be my value 1000, and I'm going to divide that with 0, which will lead to an exception which will come over here. This will return view because we need to. Okay, so this is a piece of code now I've written. Now we should be able to remove this and pass the actual exception. So we're going to say ex dot to string. So this is the entire string I'm passing. Okay, so this should now, let's run the code. So we click on employee, and here the method comes. I'm sure there will be an exception. Now this goes to the exception. Now this as the exception details, now complete exception details. Now I'm going to log that. I'm going to go inside this method. Now here we will closely observe. First it is checking the path and whether the log folder is created. I'm sure it is not created, so it's creating one. So here you can see there will be a folder called created, called a log folder. Here you see it is already created. And then now we are creating a file name with the date time dynamic. So here see, this is a file name. Today is 14th October and .txt. Now we want to combine this path and the file name to check if it exists. Okay, I'm sure it does not exist, and it is going to create it. So it's created it. So inside the log folder you can see the file is created. Now it is going ahead and it is logging the exception. So this is the title and this is the error message. You can see the complete error message is there, and then it is closing the file, and yes, we have successfully logged in. So let me just check. This is because I'm returning the view, so let's ignore this as of now. This we can take care. The primary functionality is to check our log file is created. So let's go to our project directory, and here you can see open folder and www root, and here log folder is created and the file is also created. Let us open the file, and here you can see the complete log is there. Log entry, this is the date and time, this is the title, and this is the exception. So this is how you'll be able to log your files. Now as I told you, it is not only for exception, it can be also for your other purpose. Like here in this method, if I want to know what is the total number of records fetched, so I can also do that. So I just want to copy this variable over here, and as I showed you earlier also, I can just say total records. Okay, and I want to just ensure whether my code is working, so I just say employee to count. So it's employee entity dot count. So this will also record this count. So here you can see, here I'm recording the number of record fetch. Then I'm calling a method which actually purposely throws an exception, and then it comes over here and we record those into our file. So let's run this project again. I'll just add a breakpoint over here as well, and then in the application now. So this time we should be able to see two things. First, we should be able to log the total number of records. Okay, yes, it's already done. And then we should be able to also log the exception. So I'm just going to inside, and here as you can see, this time the folder is not created because already exists, and even the file will be not be created, and then it is logging all the exception. So it's already logged in. So now let's go to the folder. I'll open that www root folder, log folder, and here you can see the file. And here as I told you, so as I told you, here you can see this is the first log, and then here log entry. Now this is total records, which is not an exception, just to know whether my method is returning record. And finally, when we created an exception which actually shows the entire error stack. So guys, this is how we created a simple method to log exception, just a few lines of code, and you are able to control your entire application flow and record all your. It's like an audit trail. You can use it as an audit trail, and you can also use it as a mechanism to log a exception. So guys, I hope you like this video. Please do like the video and comment, and also do subscribe to my channel and share my channel link with your family, friends and colleagues, and help us to grow our digital tech joint channel. Thank you so much.